I get a lot of questions about my language learning routine, how I manage to keep up with learning multiple languages at the same time. This is what today's video is going to be about, but I thought instead of just telling you, I could show you because I think that would be way more fun. I'm actually recording this on a Friday, so in a second we are going to go back in time and start on Monday, but I thought I could just give you a quick overview before we start. So the general rules that I have for myself are that I usually study about 5 times a week, and other than that my routine is pretty flexible. The only things that I do every single week are I started learning a new language and I have lessons twice a week, usually on Tuesdays and on Fridays. So this is one of the things that doesn't really change in my language learning routine, but other than that I just kind of like to go with the flow, and like if I'm in the mood to study a certain language, then I will. If I'm not really in the mood, then I might study a different one, because I'm learning languages for myself. I'm not learning for school or for work or whatever. The only thing that I'm focusing on this year is I want to speak as much as possible, and I also started a new language which I'm really excited about, but I'm gonna talk to you guys about that in a second. Those are my 2 main things that I'm focusing on this year. I think that's all you need to know for now. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. And now let's go back in time and start on Monday. Hi guys, it's Monday, 4:21 p.m. I didn't have the time to study this morning, so we're gonna do it now. So we're gonna do my homework for tomorrow. As you guys know, I think I mentioned it in one of my previous videos, but I started learning a new language and I decided to go with one-on-one lessons. I'm still also debating whether I should share what language I'm learning, but I mean, I guess I'll just tell you guys. So I'm learning Kyrgyz. I started learning Kyrgyz a few weeks ago. It's been really fun. As you guys may know, Kyrgyz has always been one of my dream languages, so I decided to finally go for it. Kyrgyz is not a very popular language in the sense that there are barely any resources, and I found one textbook that was from 1993, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It was not the best, so I was like, okay, let me just look online, maybe I'll find a teacher, and I did, and she's really nice. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to use my phone to do my homework, just because it's difficult to type in Cyrillic on my laptop because I don't have the right keyboard. I want to get those little stickers that you can stick to your keyboard, but I haven't done that yet. So I've just been using my phone because it's easier. 4 exercises. One of them is a mini essay. So yeah, should be fun. Okay, I just finished and it took me 28 minutes. So it's now 4:54. I did my homework, so I'm ready for tomorrow's lesson, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, hi guys. It's Tuesday. I feel like this is so dark. There's it's light outside, but it's so dark in my room. But anyway, I'm about to start my lesson in 12 minutes. But I thought I could just review everything from my last lesson really quickly, because those lessons are one-on-one. We're going so fast. Today, I think, is going to be my 10th lesson, if I'm not mistaken. But we've already covered so much. It's my first time learning a Turkic language, so obviously the grammar is completely new and the logic behind everything is completely new as well. And that's been a bit, I'm not gonna say challenging, but it's definitely been new and something that I had to get used to, which wasn't that difficult because I'm so excited to learn Kyrgyz. And yeah, what I wanted to say, what I'm trying to say is that it's everything is so new, but at the same time, once you kind of learn the structure and the basic rules, let's say, then it's fine. Then it's quite easy. It might just be that I'm so excited to learn this language. I'm so happy that I get to learn it. I think my lesson starts in 6 minutes, and I was supposed to do a little review. So yeah, I'll see you guys after my lesson, I think. Hello again. I just finished my lesson. It was so nice. I love Kyrgyz so much, and my teacher is just so cool. Normally I have 2 lessons per week, but this week I only have 1, which I'm a bit sad about, but at the same time, I feel like I have so many things that I need to review. It might be a good idea to pause for a second and review everything. I'll see you guys either this evening or tomorrow. We'll see, but I did an hour of Kyrgyz today. Alright, I just finished my first Spanish speaking class, which brings me to Lingoda, who are very kindly sponsoring today's video. As you guys know, one of my biggest goals for 2026 is to finally become fluent in Spanish, and the thing I really want to focus on this year is speaking. So that's why I decided to partner with Lingoda, an online language school that offers live interactive classes in Spanish, but also in many other languages. You can choose between small group classes or one-on-one lessons, and they are all taught by certified native level teachers. Groups are really small, maximum 5 people, so after each lesson you are guaranteed personal feedback, which is really helpful when learning a new language. One thing I really love about Lingoda is how flexible it is. Classes are available 24/7 to fit any routine, and it's also really convenient if you are like me and you travel a lot. No matter what time zone you're in, you will be able to find a class that fits your schedule, which is something I really appreciate. As you can see, there are different levels and there's a ton of different topics you can choose from. Okay, this is the one that I'm going to go for, and another thing that is really cool about Lingoda is that before each class you can preview the lesson material and get to know the vocabulary. As someone who sometimes gets a little bit nervous before speaking classes, this is something I really appreciate. It really helps with speaking anxiety. They also offer something called the Lingoda Sprint, which can be perfect for people who want to start speaking fast if you are going on a trip somewhere, if you are moving to a new country. You can choose between the Sprint, which is 15 classes a month, or the Super Sprint, which is 30 classes per month. And if you complete all your classes, you get up to 50% cashback. Right now, Lingoda is also running a big sale, so with my code Julia40, you can get 20 euros off or $25 off, plus an additional 10% off the Sprint and 20% off the Super Sprint. The sale ends on February 3rd, so if you're serious about making progress this year, use my code and the link in the description to book your first class today. I'm really excited to keep learning with Lingoda and finally become fluent in Spanish this year. Alright, so as you can probably tell, I skipped Wednesday and Thursday, and that's because I was really busy. I had a lot of work to do, which is fine. As I told you guys at the beginning of this video, my routine is very flexible. I'm not really on a deadline. I'm learning those languages because language learning is my hobby. So because I didn't study on Wednesday and on Thursday, we were just gonna study on Saturday and Sunday, which is totally fine. So I did an hour of Spanish today, and I think later in the evening I'm going to review some Kyrgyz, and then we'll see what I'm in the mood for tomorrow. Hi guys, happy Saturday. So I started my day with a podcast in Russian. It was just a random one that I found on Spotify, but it was about mushrooms, so it was really nice. And then I went ahead and started working on my little Spanish cheat sheet. A few days ago, I finally decided and I finally bought my plane tickets, and I am going to a few Spanish-speaking countries very soon. So I'm really excited about that. And I decided to start working on this cheat sheet. I'm going to write down every single tense that I'm going to need, and like different phrases that I can use related to travel. So I started working on that. I listened to my audiobook while I did that, and it was really nice. That's one of my favorite things to do, like listening to an audiobook and then doing something else, something crafty with like highlighters and everything. I really love that type of stuff. So yeah, I'm going to continue working on it. I think that's going to be it for today. Tomorrow is going to be our last day together in this vlog, and I think we are going to study Russian tomorrow because I've been neglecting Russian a little bit. Now I'm going to go and do some other stuff, and I'll see you guys in the evening, and we are going to finish working on my Spanish cheat sheet. Hi guys, happy Sunday. I don't have that much time to study today because we are celebrating Grandmother's Day a little bit early. It's next Wednesday, but because it's Sunday, I'm going to take my grandma to lunch and spend some time with her. So I have about an hour, and then I have to start getting ready and everything. But I thought we could you know, squeeze in a little study session before I have to go. And the language of the day is going to be Russian. I showed you guys in a previous vlog, I think, or one of my previous vlogs, that my neighbor, she teaches Russian in a local high school, I think. And she let me borrow so many magazines in Russian, and they are really, really cool because for each article, there's a QR code that you can scan, and then you have access to the audio version of the article. And they have word lists at the end of every article, which is really, really cool. So I think I'm just going to choose a random article that looks interesting and read it and listen at the same time. As you guys know, reading and listening at the same time is one of my favorite language learning methods. Which one do I want to go for? Some of these are like not really my vibe, to be honest. Let's see. This one's about food, so maybe this one, or this one about Moscow. Okay, yeah, I think I'm not gonna overthink it, and I'm going to go for the one about food. Seems like a relatively safe option. So this is what it looks like. There's a word list here, so it's Russian to Polish. All right, so I think without further ado, I'm just gonna find it. Oh, there it is. I'm gonna scan the QR code. We are going to read it. I don't know if I'm gonna read the whole article. I might just read like the first half or something.
Топ-10 блюд русской кухни.
Okay, this is where I'm going to stop. I'm about halfway through, but there are a lot of new words that I don't know. So I think I'm going to go through the list of words and maybe write a few of them down in my notebook. But yeah, it's really, really interesting. It's about food. There's a picture of selyanka, which is one of my favorite soups. I'm not sure if they still make them or if you can still get them. I mean, I'm sure you can get other languages. They have like English, French, Spanish, German, but I'm not sure if you can still get the Russian ones. So I'm really, really grateful that I got to borrow these. Another thing that I wanted to show you is I made a list of the most common Kyrgyz verbs a few days ago, and I have it here, and I'm just going to keep it on my desk, and anytime I need to write something in Kyrgyz or just want to say something in Kyrgyz, I can just look at that list and find the verb that I need. I have about 80 verbs, I think, which is crazy to think about because I've only had like 10 lessons, I think. So 80 verbs in 10 lessons is, I don't know, I think it's a good number. When you actually know 80 verbs, you can say so many different things. That's another one of my favorite language learning methods. Anytime I start a new language, I always focus on verbs first because there's a verb in every single sentence and you can say so much with just verbs. Whereas if you learn a lot of nouns, for example, you can't really form sentences with them. So yeah, I always prioritize verbs. Before we wrap up the video, I have a question for you guys because I've been brainstorming video ideas for the next few months and I would like to get your input. I want to know what videos you would like to see on my channel. So if you have any suggestions, any ideas for me, what videos I can film, leave them in the comments down below. It can be anything. You guys know that I film a lot of sit-down videos where I break down different methods, but you can also leave suggestions for different types of vlogs that you would like to see. Maybe you would like to see me try out different methods live. Like for example, I've always wanted to try the memory palace technique, so maybe I could film a video and try it with you guys. So yeah, if you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments. Yeah, I'm really interested to know what you guys would like to see on my channel in 2026. And yeah, I think that's it for today's video. As you guys saw, I don't really have a strict language learning routine. There are a few things that I do every single week, but other than that, I just like to see what I'm in the mood for and then do that, because language learning is my hobby. I'm not learning for school, for work. I'm not on a strict deadline. So yeah, it's my hobby, and I feel like when I keep things light and I don't put too much pressure on myself, that's when I tend to enjoy language learning a lot more. And at the end of the day, the most important thing when you want to learn a language is staying consistent, and I feel like when you enjoy something, then it's easier to stay consistent. Hopefully this video gave you a little bit of an insight into my week, how much I realistically study in a week. But keep in mind that every single week is a little bit different depending on what I'm in the mood for, or if I'm traveling or not, if I have more work that week. You know, every single week is slightly different, and I'm also going traveling very, very soon. So my language learning routine is about to change drastically. Oh, and another thing that I need your guys' opinion on is, because I'm going traveling very, very soon and I'm going to be visiting a few Spanish speaking countries, I really want to practice speaking as much as I can, and I want to prepare for that trip. So my question is, would you guys like to see a vlog where I show you what I do in order to prepare for that kind of trip, different speaking exercises and different prompts I use, different techniques? If you guys would like to see that, definitely let me know in the comments as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.